ส่งให้เป็นสตรีดีเด่นให้ประกวดแต่ว่าก็ส่งหลายคนนะสุรินทร์ส่งหลายคนแต่ไม่ได้
ชุมชนก็มีการเปลี่ยนแปลงมีความเข้าใจมีความสมัครสมานสามัคคีขึ้นนะครับเวลาสมมติว่า
ความมีคนเข้ามาเยอะแยะมาถามเกี่ยวกับการตัดยังไงแล้วก็เป็นธุรกิจ
Surin Province in northeast Thailand. The story of community development in this region began with the Kong Di Mong Surin Festival, an exhibition centered on local producers and service providers. Decentralized hands-on exhibition approach. This is an alternative approach that emphasizes community capacity and rural development. Pioneering the approach, Thailand's Surin Province introduced the Kong Di Mong Surin Festival. Through this approach, community capacity development has been promoted and the producers and service providers have begun to take pride in their region and live with confidence. In this film, the concepts and practice of the decentralized hands-on exhibition approach are expanded on by using cases from Thailand, supplemented with cases from other countries. Thailand's capital, Bangkok. All year around, the One Tambon, One Product, OTOP, exhibition is held in various regions around the country. These exhibitions are held frequently and contribute much, particularly by providing a point of sale for those producers who don't have a shop of their own. Producers are able to sell to consumers face to face, and each producer negotiates their own prices. There is a rich variety of processed goods, such as clothing, daily necessities, groceries, and food. Because everything is brought, sold, and exhibited in one place, this style is defined as the centralized display-oriented exhibition. Each producer makes efforts to sell their products, for example by displaying OTOP certificates to stand out among the many other sellers. Surin Province is 6 hours by car from Bangkok. The region is known for its elephants, jasmine rice, and silk. Located on the border with Cambodia, with influences from the Khmer, Lao, and Gui cultures, this region has its own distinctive culture and language and is rich in resources. This is the OTOP exhibition in Surin Province. Silk is the leading OTOP product in this province. To hold these kinds of exhibitions and markets, facilities are necessary and funding is required to cover the cost of these facilities. Because of this, the coordinator who controls these funds has ended up at the center of and leading all market-related activities such as event planning and scheduling. Naturally, producers and service providers participate as stallholders. Although they earn a profit, they don't take a leading role in the management of the exhibition. Even if they wanted to organize an exhibition themselves, it would be hard for an individual stallholder to do. In contrast to that kind of centralized exhibition, which is based on a model decided by outsiders, the decentralized hands-on exhibition approach emphasizes producers and service providers taking advantage of local resources and playing a major role in planning and scheduling their own activities. In this way, local people can play a part in improving their own capacity, and by doing so, they also enhance their expertise. This approach requires the community to construct its own identity as a branding strategy. In Surin Province, this was done through the Kong Di Mong Surin Festival. The meaning of the name for the festival is to present the lesser-known and hidden resources of the region, as well as the local lifestyle in a form that is visible, rather than focusing on the region's famous features of elephants, jasmine rice, and silk.
In the Kong Di Mon Surin festival programs, anything can be visible. Culture and local people's lifestyle, all of them. But with Oto products, nothing is seen but products.
Says Ms. Wim Mon Mart, the manager of Surin Province's OTOP Center, who in addition to managing the festival, participates as a volunteer. The program she mentions is anywhere from 2 hours to a half-day hands-on experience.
Surin Province is known for elephants, jasmine rice, and silk. People come here to see elephants. You can buy these products anywhere, but no one goes to the production sites. With the festival, now people can learn about and understand our region's actual situation. For example, how we dye and weave silk. Seeing how silk is made helps consumers understand how much one piece of silk is worth and just how hard it is to make.
Commercial markets are limited to goods. In the hands-on experience programs, the experience is the product, and this is only limited by the imagination. Anything can become a product.
I used to just farm fish. I'm happy the Community Development Office introduced the project to me. Now we are able to progress our own activities.
This is Mr. Prasit, who provides a program in the festival. Through his program, visitors experience his day-to-day life, which runs parallel with the region's rivers. They can enjoy such activities as feeding fish and collecting shellfish. Afterwards, they are also treated to a meal made with his fish. This program received the inaugural Best Program Award. Through this kind of hands-on experience program, a range of activities have been introduced, from micro-businesses to hobbies. The price and length for the program is set by the program provider themselves. Mr. Prasit's program is 4 hours and costs the equivalent of $6. He is effectively sharing a part of his normal life, which is readily reproducible and doesn't require any initial investment.
After implementing the program, this was promoted through various media such as the catalog. The festival caused value to be attributed to the culture and daily life of the group, and cleanliness also began to be valued. It's important that the participants have real experiences. We received the Best Program Award in 2012. We are supporting this village by providing employment. For example, taking participants out on boats, or we ask them to cook food for participants. The first group was 22 people. And now we receive participants regularly.
In this way, producers and service providers are becoming champions of their specialties through developing small, hands-on experience programs. During the month-long festival, visitors are received as program participants in various set locations. As a kind of exhibition, hands-on programs are held throughout the province. This is why it is called a decentralized exhibition.
The difference between development in rural and urban areas is that they have proximity to resources and knowledge. There's a difference in terms of access to the market. In rural development, the support and knowledge of both the administration and private sector is necessary.
Ms. Orza is the director of the Surin Province Community Development Office. The key to rural development is support for establishing community systems. In Surin Province, the Community Development Office is the system maker. They implemented the festival annually as a 3-year project. This approach has facilitated the systematic value addition of collective activities, benefiting many producers and service providers. These collective activities include the production of a catalog, which advertises all the hands-on experience programs throughout the province. The catalog publication is collective marketing in practice. The catalog itself adds value to the story of the producers and service providers. This kind of story can be associated with various different activities, depending on the concept. For example, in Paraguay in South America, it is being applied in an environmental project. Eco-friendly local activities shaped by people's stories are developed into programs. A range of different environmental activities is included, such as organic vegetable farming, making recycled goods, and tree planting. The exhibition is called Expo Iguazu Pura, whereby the Iguazu Lake symbolizes the identity of the community. This expo offers green tourism activities to increase environmental awareness in the community. One of the most important aspects of this approach is the clarification of roles and identification of expertise in each activity. This is how people become professionals responsible for system construction and how the collective activities are formed. This is systematic value addition. The implementation of this approach can be divided into 5 stages. The activity itself is assumed to be open and participatory, and the interaction between workshops and practice is fundamental. The key here is inclusive facilitation to stimulate the initiative of participants. Dynamism is generated through participants discussing and sharing their own experiences and knowledge. The key here is to focus on experiential, operational, and practical knowledge-based activities, which will result in interesting and attractive programs. Originality makes these activities different and unique. Learning by doing is the shortcut to success. The first preparatory stage begins with identifying champions and resources by brainstorming ideas together through group discussions in a workshop. The key here is how many ideas are had. For example, if the aim is to develop 100 programs, 3 or 4 times this amount will be identified to begin with. In Surin Province, 17 districts initially came up with a list of 20 champions for each district. 17 districts times 20 champions is 340 people. These identified champions would then potentially go on to develop programs. In Paraguay, the first list consisted of 30 champions for 9 cities, a total of 270 people. At Nicaragua's workshop, many people thought that it wouldn't be possible to come up with so many. But once they actually tried doing it, they surprised themselves. Through bringing together lots of people, everyone's networks can be capitalized on. As a result, the number of potential champions that can be identified is almost limitless. The workshop of this next stage involves actually calling the people whose names made the list of potential champions to develop programs themselves. Effective workshop includes an organic combination of practical discussion and program testing based on actual situations where participants can consult each other. Nicaragua's BRIC program. In the case of this program's testing, which was actually an idea from participants, playing music and dancing the salsa while mixing soil for bricks transformed this activity into something fun.
Cooperation has increased. Tourists can experience local lifestyles. It isn't limited to learning about local traditions. This has become an opportunity for local people, neighbors, and also for the local administration to deepen their understanding of local lifestyles and knowledge. Some people have been surprised saying, there is such a thing as this or that. If you don't have experiences in your area, you won't notice the good things. They are sustainably growing by learning new things instead of just staying. Most local people are living good enough lives, but in reality, you need to be moving ahead. The world is not only here.
This is how Ms. Kanyalak, who has worked as a community development volunteer supporting local people in the project, talks about it. The dynamism that comes from small group discussions and practical trainings. By doing these well and creating an environment where anybody can participate, an inclusive and participatory development is possible. In this way, new ideas are easily introduced during project implementation. This district has steadily developed programs each year. 15 in the first, 32 in the second, and 45 programs in the third year. This district is famous throughout the province for having many silk producers. The chief of Sikorapum's District Community Development Office, Mr. Suchak. He brought together a variety of people from both public and private sectors within the province. He is also contributing to the management of the project as a representative of the volunteer group.
In the Kondimuan Surin Festival, how we organize workshops has benefit. We provide a place where people can participate. Through the process, they use their capacity. The local government is the support organization. At this kind of workshop, we provide an opportunity for them to have a voice. We make use of those voices in our work. The community members are the ones who benefit from the workshop. This kind of workshop develops people, their capacity, and power. We emphasize the process. It is the right approach for the festival.
Mr. Tawisa, who is a district official, was responsible for supporting program development in the district as a facilitator. He talks about the change in the community.
In Pratun village, nobody ever thought about doing anything but selling silk. There weren't any ideas, for example, about how to care for the community. However, through offering programs in the festival, aspects of life outside of silk can now be seen. Opportunities to help each other and communicate have increased, and they have started to clean the village as well.
Ms. Lamphun has participated in the workshop and talks about how it was for her.
It was great. By participating like this, I was able to gain new knowledge. I had never been in a meeting like that before. Ours is a silk region, but through the group work, we had the opportunity to talk with all kinds of people from the region outside of the silk industry, such as people who make sweets. We were able to come up with all sorts of ideas. I think this will lead to product improvement as well.
Learning by doing. How often discussion and practice can be repeated is key. At the core of the collective activities is the collation of all the programs into a catalog and marketing them as one. The catalog itself is the embodiment of collective marketing, and without this, the event would not begin. Each program by itself is small, but by gathering many of these together, a large project is possible. Here also, having several hundred programs on offer is key. In Thailand, the number of programs increased from 97 in the first year to 192 in the second year, and finally 337 programs in the third year of implementation. The variety of programs has also been increased. In Paraguay, 110 eco-friendly programs were featured. Ms. Gausoan, who is the owner of a guest house and also a program provider, talks about the catalog.
The change is that we now have the foundations for good information. This catalog is filled with information showing that there are actually places you can go and have a good time. Before, it was a word of mouth. I went over there, or I went here. There was no list kind of thing. It's great that we have made that. I used to think mainly about the budget, and then think about where to develop from there. The projects I worked on were made for community members. If you make it just because they want it, it will end up having no value to the region. They'll just use it without thinking. That has changed. After being exposed to this project, I have come to think that this is a better way of doing it, because the region does it themselves. It can be progress in a sustainable way. People are thinking for themselves, and this is becoming an impetus for them to want to grow themselves. This is true local power.
Mr. Wutipan recycles empty bottles to make lamps, running his own business as a sole trader. He distributed over 100 copies of the catalog, contributing to the project as a promoter. His business has changed since his program was included in the catalog. He says that not only did people understand his business, but they also started to come to see production. Using this opportunity as a stepping stone, he has started working towards his next dream. He is now planning to develop the factory into a learning center and also making it a tourist destination in the future. It's not only program providers who understand the importance of selling the town. Ms. Piatida runs a restaurant with her family. She talks about why they support festival promotion as a restaurant.
If lots of people with an interest in Surin come here because of the festival, there's also benefit for the restaurant. We're distributing 100 copies. We're handing them out to people from Surin Province and from outside the province. We support festival promotion.
Like Ms. Piatida says, in community development, what benefits the community as a whole will ultimately result in benefit for the individual. A holistic perspective of development is required. This ability to holistically advance community capacity is one of the strengths of this approach. The event starts with an opening ceremony. In the venue, there is also a marketplace for use as a kind of centralized exhibition for producers or service providers. The ceremony pulls together the hands-on experience programs, and a mock experience of the festival can be had. This is one of the programs provided by the village. Participants are learning the community's traditional dance. After the event is introduced, a range of programs are implemented in various locations, and customers are accepted. A number of years ago, a homestay program was started in this village, and in 2007 it was selected as Surin Province's tourism village. During the festival, the village focuses on walking tours and homestay activities.
ได้เป็นมะเขือเทศแล้วก็พาเดินชมหมู่บ้านมันรู้สึกอย่างไรคะ
I'm proud of being a part of the village. It has the charm to attract people from other provinces and countries. I'm very happy. I'm also glad the village is becoming cleaner than before. The Gui traditional way of life in Alu village cannot be found anywhere else in the world, only here. I want to open it to many people. Culture and customs with a history of over 100 years still remain.
The tourism business that is lifting this village up has not only increased the number of domestic and international visitors through the festival, but it has also increased their pride and confidence in their traditional culture. Surin's Green Market is held every Saturday. One of the program providers, Ms. Chatwana, sells her products at the market. She makes soaps and body soaps using herbs from the local region. This market is one of her main sales points. She encourages local people to grow herbs, and she says, as a result, those who used to go to gamble have quit and are now helping her grow herbs. She hosts participants regularly after the festival, sometimes over 250 participants at a time. Due to the large number of participants, sometimes she just provides the information so they can do it themselves. Her way of thinking, using what's locally available, and living a sustainable lifestyle has been passed on to her son, Mr. Grayut. This has also fostered an entrepreneurial spirit among local youths.
When I first returned from Bangkok, although I earned a good salary in Bangkok, after returning home, my income wasn't that good. But I believe that there was opportunity in farming. This is because these days, city people have started to care about their health. The important thing to keep in mind in organic agriculture is the meaning of self-sufficiency, a happy family.
Now they have another store in the city and are planning to further expand their business. How do we evaluate the results of such efforts as policy? In Surin Province, participatory evaluation was incorporated, and the outcomes of the project were compiled from the perspective of the project stakeholders. From these outcomes and the changes that took place, focusing on good cases and good practice, the evaluation explored what kind of changes occurred and how these changes came about.
The Community Development Office also has qualitative evaluation but rarely uses it. The Community Development Office often asks what we want to know directly at the evaluation meeting. However, for the evaluation of the festival, the Japanese Cooperation Project, another approach was used to get the information we wanted. Our officers learned how to be a facilitator. Now they can see community capacity in what the community has.
That was Ms. Kanjana, who is responsible for planning and evaluation in Surin's Province Community Development Office, sharing her views on the participatory evaluation. It is extremely difficult for community members, who are the project beneficiaries, to even begin to solve problems in development. Participatory evaluation, which involves unfamiliar residents in an ordinary evaluation, is not easy in practice. The evaluation meeting held by Surin Province, which was implemented in the form of a workshop, employed 2 techniques to involve them. The first is photo elicitation.
For example, photo elicitation. Program providers choose their best photos based on their perspectives. Some of their ideas are not the majority's.
A vast amount of information can be taken from one photograph. Also, it is easy to evoke memories from photographs, and based on these, a range of discussions can be had. By seeing qualitative information from a beneficiary's point of view, they can share their thinking about development. The second technique is appreciative inquiry. In this approach, the positive parts of the community are identified and built upon. The individual clarifies the purpose and method of the activity. In Surin Province, they aimed for an evaluation that provided space for stakeholders to create a dream.
It focuses on dreams and processes for how they make it real. Participants think about what they will do in the future.
The appreciative inquiry technique brought about constructive discussions among participants, such as what to do and how to do it, as well as quick positive changes in people's behaviors. Evaluation that encourages the realization of a dream. In participatory evaluation, the evaluation process itself offers the opportunity to transform evaluation participants.
I was inspired by the photos that program providers brought to the Con Di Muan Surin Festival participatory evaluation meeting. I especially liked the traditional sweets making program of another sub-district. This photo represents unity and cooperation among community members. I utilized what I learned in my program and village. Now, more villagers support my program. What I learned at the evaluation meeting changed my way of thinking. I didn't have any experience and knowledge of running tourism activities before. But now I think I can utilize what I learned, such as the division of roles among everyone, to improve my program.
Not only this, various people have worked with the festival, such as people with business ideas and university lecturers. Also, traditional culture, such as traditional dances and songs that had all but disappeared, have resurfaced and are reappearing in people's lives. Other residents experiencing these outcomes have started expressing an interest in participating in the next festival. Through the period of preparation leading up to the event, and in the course of completing each step and steadily conducting each activity, the advantages of this decentralized, hands-on exhibition approach have brought much in the way of benefit and changes to the community. Networks have been strengthened, community and human resources harnessed, and above all, individuals have gained self-confidence. Promoting local people's attachment to their locality by providing a stage on which the region can shine, the decentralized hands-on exhibition approach builds this system. In the lesser-explored Asian country of Bhutan and the Central American nation of Nicaragua, plans are now underway to implement the decentralized hands-on exhibition approach as a rural development policy with an aim of fostering local entrepreneurs and rural development promoters. Accumulate lots of small projects and build a large project. In this way, the decentralized hands-on exhibition, the Con Di Muan Surin Festival, brought about social reform in Surin Province. making new connections among many people, respecting different cultures, and mutually recognizing each other's values. Due to the efforts of the last 3 years, now Surin is approaching a new phase, and changes are being made to a range of other different projects.